Hello and welcome to Cruz's Gaming against OmyPony in the SOVL Discord Cup 8. I'm UK Rocky, or Craig. Cruz has asked me to cast over his game, which I've not watched yet, so my reactions are very much going to be live. Just so that there was an unbiased opinion on it. We've got Cruz's web speed Abyssal list that he's gone through a couple of times on videos, but also might well go through it before I start rambling away. And then we've got Omy's web Darkborn, list. So web, but nerfs only one use each, which is an interesting unique thing to this particular game that happened. So are we going through, give my live reactions? This was both players on 2 wins. There were 5 players on 2 wins going into the final round. I played one of the others as the highest loser. So this was for a potential tournament win at the top end of this. Cruz battling hard to keep his best Abyssal, and the Darkborn are really up in the air. Not many people have used them in loads of tournaments, so some best in race up for grabs as well. In terms of map, open map, for the next tournament, I've pre-designated maps for it, so hopefully this sort of map won't happen too much. Single objective, in my opinion, probably benefits the Darkborn, which might sound odd, but I think speed lists do quite like having 2 objectives to play around. They can pressure on one and hold back on the other. I'm aware web-based lists have quite a lot of speed. I think Darkborn are really popular in tournaments at the minute. They don't seem too much on the ranked ladder, and Abyssal is sort of the same. If you've not watched Cruz's breakdown on the patch notes, well worth a watch, as he is suspecting these 2 races in particular, and a couple of others, to drop in power level. In terms of deployment, Cruz slightly weighted to the right as we look at it. Obviously the Northmen are going to play for the objective. Those Abyssal Knights can push hard on the left, the Devil can sweep around. The 2 chariots on the right as well can just hold it up. A chariot versus a Hydra is a combat that will not end anytime soon. Screening the dogs and the chariot with a wizard and the Devil, as well as the other chariot being in cover, is a good move against this many crossbows. Having run a lot of Conclave recently, as well as just light arms found, I've been running Deepwood and Reptilians. If people let me have a shot against any of these units, really, the Devils, the Chariots, or the Dogs, I'm going to take them. It's really wasted going for anything else. So, good screening going on here. With Cruz having first turn, he's going to get the first choice on all these charges. You've got the Devil there lining up into the front of the Darkborn riders, which in my opinion is a little bit risky. 12 attacks, 6 hits, does a couple of wounds, doesn't take that much more to spike, and suddenly that Devil's looking a little bit ropey. One thing that might have happened there, I'm not too sure with the movement after this, is if those riders do flee to bait the Devil into the open, he'll stop behind the Knights, and that's something that players don't always consider, is if my opponent flees, am I blocking it? Am I protecting my units that are long bombing charging, and protecting them if there is a flee? So we've got a lot of moving up here. In terms of Omy's deployment, quite liked it. Again, those riders protecting out wide, they're going to really struggle against that Archdevil though, just because of first turn charges. I do think there's obviously a massive benefit to going second, but the benefits going first is on display here with that Archdevil being able to do that first charge into those riders and really tie up that flank, and you get first choice in the charges. And flyers are really, if you've got flyers, you can normally do something with having first activation. In terms of the Hydra here, I think the Hydra could really be a problem for Cruz as the game goes on. It's not going to do loads of damage, but I mean, what in Cruz's list can do 5 wounds on a turn? It'd have to be 2 units really. The Witch Elves, I mean, we're ideally looking for a flank to deal with those, I guess. The crossbows are going to keep chipping, even against Abyssals. Crossbows and light arms fire will do it, although all saved on the Knights and all saved on the Chariot from those 2 crossbow units. So 2 crossbow units doing a total of 0 wounds is not ideal for Omy. But that's okay. I'm assuming that Chariot can't see those crossbows as we head into turn 2. So the Knights go into the Darkborn riders. I didn't see any webs, by the way. I don't know if that was skipped ahead, but Cool. Frees up the Archdevil who's got a shroud on him. So that was definitely not a web from Cruz because the shroud went up. Didn't see what the other spell that went off was. Chariot not taking the charge into the Hydra, which is a good idea because the Knights would just come in the second round and get rid of the Chariot, you'd imagine. So we're expecting the Northern Axe to move early here, but yeah, I realise I didn't really trap too much about Omy's deployment. I always find it hard because it's normally upside down, but I like the two fast-moving units out wide, the Hydra and the Witches anchoring the middle, and then the crossbows able to move up in support, but also do the shooting. I mean, people really underestimate stuff like crossbows and how much they can do in combat. And I mean, there's still Elves with skill 4. Yeah, I love charging with archers. It's a great thing to do. So Northern Axe contesting the objective. That's probably most of what they can do all game, I guess. I mean, in a one-on-one fight against the crossbows, they'll do okay. They hit them worse, but they've got a better save on the charge. They make the crossbow save on one less as well. But generally speaking, they are an objective capturing machine. Is Omy going to go for this Archdevil? Such a key piece in this. 2 wounds on the devil, not too bad. It's hitting on 5s though, 6 hits, pretty good. You'd expect what, 1 and a bit wounds. But I mean, after the spike of no wounds on first turn, if there's a spike the other way here, it could be really important. Generally speaking, if people are aggro shooting, I'd rather they spike early so I know what I've got. But so there was a shot on there to the dogs, which I mean didn't take to go after the devil. You imagine the devil tends to move later in the turn after those witches, so perhaps could have done it in a different order there and tried to get rid of some of those dogs. Wouldn't kill the whole unit though, I guess, which is important. Protecting those dogs from those crossbows behind those Northmen again. Just trying to really make those crossbows at the top waste their shots. Hydra move forward by the looks of it. I said that Hydra just needs to avoid being multi-charged, and I think a minute is in a good spot to avoid that. Web on the Knights means that Chariot on the right can push mega aggressively. I wonder if we're going to see a counter web here, which when I played Cruz last round, I found that web encourages web. Though if people web something, you tend to web the thing that could take advantage. Okay, so that Chariot could charge the Knights as well. A lot of choices on this Chariot. I'm surprised it moved that early, just due to the crossbows having not activated. Wow, the Witches conceding the objective to get a flank on the Knights if the Knights don't lose any models. It's 50 points. Again, objective is one of those things where I think people sometimes underestimate it. 50 points is, you know, a whole unit of dogs, or there's a lot of things. There's times where I sacrifice units because the 50 points. Okay, so you got web on the devil. Shots into the Chariot, I guess. You can get a couple wins off it here. It doesn't really matter who it charges. Suddenly a spike of wands could swing it. Yeah, into the Chariot, 1 wound. Yeah, so tanky. Okay, here we go. I mean, this should be a win for the Abyssal Knights, but only kill 1 Dark Rider, and the Dark Riders do win back. And hold, not too surprising. Surprising that any 1 Dark Rider died, but I mean, the hold isn't unlikely, I guess. So we get Chariot into Knights. Interested to see if those crossbows then come to support, which is into the flank, which will. Ooh, I mean, those dogs and the axe are going to have a rear into those witches potentially, or the Archdevil. So you've got Northern Axe into the rear of witches. Dogs can probably get into the rear. You've got the Archdevil into the rear of the Riders. Cruz has got objective completely tied down for at least another turn. Those crossbows have to start moving up aggressively. I guess the Hydra's going to have to try and protect the rear of the witches, but all the crossbows are going to have to come up and shoot something off. Can these crossbows get sight on this devil? It's going to be tight. We can. Only 2 hits. Those crossbows have not had a great game. 2 wounds on the devil, 1 wound on a chariot from 5 rounds of shooting. Or 5 units worth of shooting. Northman X having to move next. This unit on the right, they're super important if I'm honest. But again, those crossbows can't get on the objective. Those ones on the left, so it's up to the wizard's unit to move up, which means that chariot's going to be left to fight those knights. So that's a one-on-one fight, you imagine? You imagine if the chariot gets bogged down, it'll eventually go in favour of the raptors, but a good charging turn, as from any chariot really, can swing it. Shroud on the dogs. Protects them from when those Northmen hacks move up to shoot to recharge the witches. It's a good move. Like it. That's all the shrouds gone. None on the wizard itself, which is fine. Protecting the flank of those Northmen. Again, Cruz having first turn here means the Hydra's got to be pretty direct. That's what it wants to do. Give me the devil next. Looking for the flank of those riders who won't be able to flee unless a couple of riders die. Okay, Northman Axe moving up to threaten the objective, the Hydra. Cruz obviously thinking he's got enough with the dogs and the Archdevil, and the Abyssal Knights, I guess, to take down the over. Dogs in the flank of witches. I seem to flank to the flank of witches. Here we go. Oh, that was a good mouse over just in time. Ooh, Frost Ward. I did not realise Omi had a Frost Ward. You imagine that chariot's just going to get bogged down and eventually ground out by those Raptor Knights. Again, Cruz has got objective for at least this turn and next turn. We're looking at 150 points worth of objectives. It's a lot. It's a lot of points. Those Abyssal Knights have not done great. Currently tied before the witches, and this could go either way, really. It's a lot of dice to roll, isn't it? Oh, my word. Lost by 1 on the reroll. And they flee. I know Cruz threw my game the other day where there was an eagle that had some odd dice, but that was odd dice. I'm not the sort of person to sit and do maths on a roll like that. Oh my word. A lot's just happened there. I'm watching the game as it goes on, so I'll try and talk through it. I'm not going to do the maths on those knights breaking, but that doesn't feel too unlikely to me. It feels like, okay, that could happen. And in this scenario, we've got the dogs into the flank, and the knights versus the chariot with Frostward. That feels very unlucky. I know they were testing on the same leadership, and it looks like the same unit's gone, but I think that chariot is potentially a bigger loss for Omi. Flee from the Hydra. Alright, dogs into flank of witches. Could go either way. Dog should win. I mean, the guy into the flank of the devil into the flank of the riders. Devil should go through them, really. Hydra's in a fine spot. That's just going to plot around. These crossbows need to kill this chariot. And next they need to kill this devil. Abyssal's looking in a really good spot at the moment. 150 points from objective as well. That's a lot of points to make up in killing. I think is like, no, that chariot does not want to take wounds from crossbows. That's rough. It's rough. I mean, it's taking so many crossbow bots to do a single wound. Cruz has got objective locked down here. Moved up very close to those crossbows. I don't know why he needs to be in charge range of the crossbows. Felt odd to me, but come on. Got frost walls on the riders. I mean, they could hold in theory. They're saved up very low though, aren't they? They could hold, turn, and kill the devil. We've got both units of heavy cap down, so points-wise we're looking relatively static on that front. Oh my word. There you go. That's how you kill a chariot. Just shoot one unit. But I mean, important kill there at a key time. I think if that chariot doesn't go down, it's looking good. I mean, it probably would have tied those back crossbows up, who, yeah, I'm in an amazing spot. But they could potentially, that could be the crossbow unit that hunts the devil now. If the devil is out of combat next turn. One dog. Good dogs. The witches do not break. Again, important. What's the devil going to do? Only kills one. And the riders squeeze a wound through. Down to 3, I think, for the devil. That is a potentially dicey combat. The devil's lost its rerolls. Riders should do an average of a wound a turn. It doesn't take too much more to do 2 wounds a turn. The Hydra got intercepted there by the rear unit. You got the chariot into the flank. Oh, my word. I mean, with the objective here, I'm really struggling to see how the Darkborn are going to turn this one around. I mean, I guess the witches... I mean, if the riders kill the Archdevil, the witches break both units, the Hydra turns, and then the crossbows shoot off the chariot. Like, there is a world where... Dog's dead. If the Northmen do 0... Look at couple 3. Only 3 witches left. And they break. I think there is a world here where Cruz could get wiped out in a very unfortunate world, but he's very much on top now. So it needs to be a wipeout really for Omy to get back. Oh, okay. It needs to be a wipeout, I think. Hydra is fine, as you would expect. And turns. So, if I was Cruz, I would not put the chariot into the Hydra here. You need to keep a unit on the board. And if that unit is a chariot running in opposite direction, that is fine. But Cruz, from seemingly a pretty good spot, has lost a lot of points. The objective is going to swing to Omy for 2 turns. So we're looking at plus 100 on objective for Cruz. Archdevil's gone down. Chariot's gone down. Northmen Axe are about to go down. Wow, that is swung. I think with the devil, that's one of the key things. Yes, it absolutely wrecks face. But if you can pin it or you can shoot it, it does go down. It really does go down at defense 5. So a very glass cannon piece. I really like it as a piece. Hydra survives. No surprise. Ooh. Can the crossbows do enough to tie? So it's 150 objective for Cruz at minimum. That chariot's going to swing the combat as well when it comes in the flank. No wounds. They break. So they've got a rear flank into the crossbows. Final turn. You need to not get wiped out here. Cruz went in with a chariot. What this means is, if dice go nuts here, which I appreciate means the witches need to go well, there is a world where Cruz could get wiped out. It's unlikely, but those Northern Axe do not want to die to that Hydra. That's a big amount. Chariot width. So you're looking at Axe and Chariot's breaking here. I think Chariot going in was a mistake just because of the combo resolution. I get Cruz wanted to help with the objective, but that's a lot of points to fill in the last turn. Now, what happens here? The witches survive. Do they pass their break test? So that's some good points on the witches. They do. Wow. Big swings towards the end. So Cruz goes down. Genuine surprise from watching that. That's a big result. 719 to 488. I did not pause it in time. 719. Only 50 points from the objective, but got the sorcerer in the chariot at the end. What's that? 135. Take that off. It's still a win. I don't really know what to say in response though. It felt like it swung very quickly in the middle. I was confident. Cruz was looking good when he was holding the objective down. The Hydra in that tar pit was really, really important. Those riders had a really good game. You know, they held the Abyssal Knights for 2 turns, including seeing them off the board when the witches came in. Then held a flank to an Archdevil and then killed the Archdevil. So those Darkborn riders had a very, very good game. The crossbows killing that chariot when it had 3 wounds left, really key as well. Just shows that, you know, even if you are bleeding objective points and you don't think you're getting the kills, stick with it, because that turned very, very quickly. And a well-deserved win for me for sticking with it and having a clear plan to go off the objective with those witches, which I know I said I maybe wouldn't have done, but those witches were key in terms of getting the victory. And unlucky from Cruz, because it felt like he had it in his hands. But yeah, great game to watch. I know there was some swingy dice with like the chariot fading 3 and the Archdevil going down, but at the same time, the crossbows did nothing early doors. So I think it's one of those games where if you replay it a few times, I think it's really hard matchup to call. But fascinating game to watch. And thanks for listening to me ramble and commentate on it. SOVL Discord Cup 9 has a week left of the sign-ups. It's 1,500 points with no restrictions, apart from Legion restrictions. So it is going to be bonkers. So if you want to have some stupid fun pushing around large armies, that's the next cup. Thanks to Cruz for letting me jabber away. I felt like I was pretty incoherent, so thanks to him for putting it with me. And hopefully see some of you at some of the future tournaments. Cheers. Bye.